The way we eat has changed more in the last 50 years than in the previous 10,000. But the image that's used to sell the food, it is still the imagery of agrarian America. You go into the supermarket and you see pictures of farmers. The picket fence and the silo and the 30s farmhouse and the green grass. It's the spinning of this pastoral fantasy. The modern American supermarket has on average 47,000 products. There are no seasons in the American supermarket. Now there are tomatoes all year round, grown halfway around the world, picked when it was green, and ripened with ethylene gas. Although it looks like a tomato, it's kind of a notional tomato. I mean, it's the idea of a tomato. In the meat aisle, there are no bones anymore.
There is this deliberate veil, this curtain that's dropped between us and where our food is coming from. The industry doesn't want you to know the truth about what you're eating, because if you knew, you might not want to eat it.
If you follow the food chain back from those shrink-wrapped packages of meat, you find a very different reality. The reality is a factory. It's not a farm, it's a factory. That meat is being processed by huge multinational corporations that have very little to do with ranches and farmers.
Now our food is coming from enormous assembly lines where the animals and the workers are being abused. And the food has become much more dangerous in ways that are being deliberately hidden from us.
You've got a small group of multinational corporations who control the entire food system. From seed to the supermarket, they're gaining control of food.
This isn't just about what we're eating. This is about what we're allowed to say, what we're allowed to know. It's not just our health that's at risk.
The companies don't want farmers talking. They don't want this story told.
How about a nice chicken sub sandwich made with fresh cooked chicken?
You know, that's a nice idea, but I think what I'd really like is a burger.
All right.
My favorite meal to this day remains a hamburger and French fries. I had no idea that a handful of companies had changed what we eat and how we make our food. I've been eating this food all my life without having any idea where it comes from, any idea how powerful this industry is. And it was the idea of this world deliberately hidden from us. And I think that's one of the reasons why I became an investigative reporter, was to take the veil, lift the veil away from, you know, important subjects that are being hidden. The whole industrial food system really began with fast food. In the 1930s, a new form of restaurant arose, and it was called the drive-in. The McDonald brothers had a very successful drive-in, but they decided to cut costs and simplify. So they fired all their car hops, they got rid of most of the things on the menu, and they created a revolutionary idea to how to run a restaurant. And they basically brought the factory system to the back of the restaurant kitchen. They trained each worker to just do one thing again and again and again. And by having workers who only had to do one thing, they could pay them a low wage, and it was very easy to find someone to replace them. It was inexpensive food, it tasted good, and this McDonald's fast food restaurant was a huge, huge success. That mentality of uniformity, conformity, and cheapness, applied widely and on a large scale, has all kinds of unintended consequences. When McDonald's is the largest purchaser of ground beef in the United States, and they want their hamburgers to taste everywhere exactly the same, they change how ground beef is produced. The McDonald's Corporation is the largest purchaser of potatoes, and one of the largest purchasers of pork, chicken, tomatoes, lettuce, even apples. These big, big fast food chains want big suppliers, and now there are essentially a handful of companies controlling our food system. In the 1970s, the top 5 beef packers controlled only about 25% of the market. Today, the top 4 control more than 80% of the market. You see the same thing happening now in pork. Even if you don't eat at a fast food restaurant, you're now eating meat that's being produced by this system. You look at the labels and you see farmer this, farmer that. It's really just 3 or 4 companies that are controlling the meat. We've never had food companies this big and this powerful in our history. Tyson, for example, is the biggest meatpacking company in the history of the world. The industry changed the entire way that chicken are raised. Birds are now raised and slaughtered in half the time they were 50 years ago, but now they're twice as big. People like to eat white meat, so they redesigned the chicken to have large breasts. They not only changed the chicken, they changed the farmer. Today, chicken farmers no longer control their birds. A company like Tyson owns the birds from the day they're dropped off until the day that they're slaughtered.
Let me go to the top.
This is the Chicken...
National Chicken Council. The chicken industry has really set a model for the integration of production and processing and marketing of the products that other industries are now following because they see that we have achieved tremendous economies. In a way, we're not producing chickens. We're producing food. It's all highly mechanized. So all the birds coming off those farms have to be almost exactly the same size. What the system of intensive production accomplishes is to produce a lot of food on a small amount of land at a very affordable price. And somebody explained to me what's wrong with that.
Smells like money to me. "16 chicken houses sits here, and Chuck's son has 4 over top of this hill. The chicken industry came in here, and it's helped this whole community out. Here's my chicken houses here. I have about 300,000 chickens. What do you want? We have a contract with Tyson. They've been growing chickens for many, many years. And it's all a science. They got it figured out. If you could grow a chicken in 49 days, why would you want one you got to grow in 3 months? More money in your pocket. These chickens never see sunlight. They're pretty much in the dark all the time.